but not as we know it. So my prediction for Ibiza 2020, I mean, flights may come into Ibiza at some point, and that point may fall within the summer months, but it'll not be Ibiza as we know it. I mean, all the clubs will be closed. DC10 might have the odd tourist party maybe, at a push here and there. Obviously it's got a decent outdoor space away from people, but it'll be capped in regards to numbers, and it'll be tickets only, pre-sold. But any form of chaos, like drunken tourist type behaviour, that'll all be dealt with even tougher than usual now. I mean, the Guardia Civil, for example, there's going to be miles more of a Guardia Civil presence. And if they loved cashing in on fines in the past, they'll be certainly desperate now in the short of pocket money, especially in the state of alarm. Like in times of need, the best of people can turn to cash in hand jobs. So would it be wrong to assume the police force aren't doing the same thing? After all, they've still got mouths to feed like the rest of us. But I suppose they should be grateful because they're still in work alongside everyone else that's still in employment. Ibiza statistics are good though, or at least that's what we're told. Maybe the people of Ibiza should be rewarded, more freedom. Outside time allowances increased, time spent with friends slowly but surely becoming legal, or basically don't cost you a fantastic €600 fine anymore. Get caught swimming though, and you'll have crossed the line. Maybe there's something in the water. Who knows? I mean, all this, in my opinion anyway, will reinvent Ibiza. I've got an optimistic view on it, mate. But I think this summer will only be like a speculative period in history, and it'll make way for an accumulative new Ibiza in 2021. Though this coming summer will have been such a struggle for most of the population of Ibiza that it'll encourage businesses to open the doors in the winter months. Do you not think? But never before has there ever been like a winter season in Ibiza. But I reckon the new age is upon us, mate. So when people are forced to venture out into the land of the unknown, that's when magic happens. So I believe Ibiza will discover a new way, a fresh start at island life, an exciting time to be alive and well on the island of Ibiza. I predict this coming winter will revolutionise not only Ibiza, but seasonal places all around the world. Island life isn't too bad though, is it? Sunshine, beaches to look at, mountains to climb. Esvedra's still the third most magnetic place on the planet, isn't it? That surely hasn't changed through all this. Doesn't the legend Christopher Columbus, didn't he once say, whoever's the closest to Esvedra at the end of the world would survive the longest? Is this what he had in mind as the end of the world? A world full of fear. Or fresh new prospects. This state of panic's not going to go away, you know, for the majority of us anyway. It'll continue to be the first thought of every first opened eyelid of every morning. And through the whole state of panic and uncertainty, the sea of death statistics is just going to overpower our need for questioning the whole thing anyway. The vaccine, obviously, is upon us, and it'll flood the social media gates in due course. And without fail, we'll rush to be the first to get that all-new release. It's what we do already though, isn't it? So nothing's changed within our thought process. We all have that need for the next best fix to fit into society. Right, so this is what'll happen. So we'll be advised to upgrade, and we'll be given an incentive, like, I don't know, a voucher, a bit more freedom maybe, an extra bite of the carrot, a chance to bring home the bacon, that all-important vaccine maybe. But it'll inevitably be compulsory eventually, and we'll have no choice. But we could either stand together or be divided. Upgrade now and download the latest app. We'll all be categorised in colours: red for avoid, yellow for limbo, green for good to go. We'll be constantly tested if we go out and try to move around, for example. So these will all determine our possibility to move not only across borders, but within our own cities and even local areas, I reckon. So freedom will come at a price, basically. So book a table at your favourite restaurant, get tested when you get there before you sit down. Buy a pint at your favourite bar, get tested before you even enter. You've got toothache or something, you need a tooth out, get tested before you even sit in the chair. So will it be red? Will you have to make your own way back home for another 2 weeks quarantine, for example? Will it be yellow? And will it be down to the business owner's discretion? Will you get a phone call a few days after you've been out socialising, advising you to go back indoors because you've come into contact with a red? Or will you be rewarded with a free shot at the bar for being in the green? Of course, all this is to protect us, though, isn't it? Or maybe it's to gain more control. Who knows? We don't. But we'll go along with it all, though, for that next cold, fresh pint of San Miguel. 0%. So all our debt compiled together in one big pile of sheer freedom determination. But the government have been so kind to so many people, do you not think? It makes me wonder whether the system will really against us in the first place. Conspiracy theorists around the world are now bigging up the system, which was their once so-called enemy. Lifelong beliefs are starting to crumble with these conspiracy theorists. Yet there are others who once believed in the system and now they're looking on in disbelief and with a cheated glare. So finally, you're free. You get a green. You're green now. You get your get out of house card, but I mean it's only for a short while. You get on a plane. God knows what sort of checks they do at the airport. I mean, is flying going to be still the safest form of transport? So let's pause to think, right? For most of us, this has been a time that we want to forget. Yet, obviously, we'll remember it all of our lives. But we must remember this time for the positive outcomes. On the contrary, though, we could choose to think about it as a time of pain, suffering, financial struggle, a time where mental health has been put to the ultimate test. I know mine has. A time of constant uncertainty and uncontrollable instability. The list goes on. A time of social scaremongering, panic, rejection. A time where we've been locked up out of our comfort zone. Yet that's ironic because we've been within the comfort zones of our own home. All we can take from it the positives and take it as a blessing that gave us time for reflection, a time full of time to do the things that we've been putting off for so long, a time for learning new skills maybe, a time to find yourself and become one with the simple things in life, I don't know, family for example, or maybe it was a time that you finally found out who your friends were. In the war, our grandparents were actually bombed in the comfort of their own homes. The dread sound of a bomb siren was much more welcoming than the whistling sound of a bomb dropping. Will it hit your house in the seconds it took to fall? Will you survive it even if you were in the bomb shelter at the bottom of your garden? And then there's times of the present when all we have to do is literally stay at home and flick through our Netflix accounts, dreaming of a time when we were once allowed to go wherever we wanted outside in our spare time. A time when we mostly dreamt about getting our next Netflix fix. Ironic? Yes. The irony though is that we must stay in to save the lives of the elderly who went through the war era to save ours. So let's abide by the rules, even if we think they're silly. After all, we're being rewarded for doing so, and what more, the prize for doing so is more freedom, the one thing we're fighting for. And all those scaremongering death tally charts are coming down because we're doing as we're told. The light at the end of the tunnel seems to be getting bigger and brighter in the countries that are following the rules. It's the law after all, so we should abide by it, right? And we should set a good example to the next person in the queue, or the next country in the queue to get more freedom. Do as you're told, stay in and save lives. But in a sudden twist of fate, it's our healthcare service that actually needs us. In contrast, though, the countries that are not taking this seriously are dropping like flies as their death tolls rise. Isn't social distancing something that we've always wanted anyway? I mean, who loves standing next to people on tubes? Or even sitting next to someone on a bus? Who takes a book to read with them on the situations like this and just sits there or stands there with the newspaper pretending to read it, never actually read a word on it? A deterrent for people getting too close to comfort, maybe. We must stand together, but just not actually together. Fuck it, why don't we just start a riot? What we need is enough people to gather in numbers, all stand together, and it's basically in the way of people going home. We as humans have got human rights, man. We're being treated like cattle in a pen, with the incentive being more freedom. If one person gets caught swimming, they'll be dragged out and fined on the spot. But what if 1,000 people all put the trunks on and went for a dip? What if we don't want to spray our hands with sanitizers and then put gloves on to go shopping? How long would it take for supermarkets to go bust? And would it actually get that far if we refuse to shop? Someone say a shopping strike. It wouldn't be human-like for everyone to just think the same, though. We're more intelligent than that. Everyone ticks differently, though. Not everyone gets itchy, for example, from a mozzie bite. That's because everyone reacts differently to the bite. I mean, some like to scratch the itch, some know better and know that it'll only make the itch worse. We can only react to what's put in front of us, though, so let's at least choose that wisely. Our mental health is the most important thing. So I'll leave you with this. In a time of need, we always look for a way out, but we fail to realise that the way out might not be what we need. Is this really the start of the end? Or just the start of a new beginning?